Welcome along to Sugden Road and the final game of a fabulous day at the EHL Premier Division Finals. The second semi-final of the men's section here in South West London, and a huge game. Last year's champions, the reigning champions, Old Georgians, third in Europe against Wimbledon. Wimbledon have not had to come far. Well, to be fair, neither have Old Georgians. However, a huge game to see who plays Surbiton tomorrow in the final. The starting lineups for the team: for Old Georgians, number 3, Henry Weir; 4, Liam Sanford; 8 is Tom Carson; 11, captain Dan Shingles; 14 is Josh Pavis. Starting also Scottish and Great Britain international Lee Morton wears 15, Ed Carson 16, and then moving on to Kiwi international Sam Hehart wearing 20, Matt Brown 22. Goalkeeper George Pinner wears 27, and Scottish and Great Britain international Alan Forsyth will wear all the 7s, 77. The team now coached by Brett Garrett. And for Wimbledon, they start, well, in goal for them is Ore Ogunlana. And then 3, the captain Jack Waller. 5, Jack Turner. 6, Ian Sloan. 7 is Duncan Scott. 10 is Irish international Rory Patterson. 15, Sam Hooper. 17, Ben Fox. 18, Ewan Gilmore. Ben Francis wears 19, Jonathan Lankford 21. That is the starting lineup for Carl Stagno's team. 2 excellent teams to come to play each other here. The maroon of Old Georgians and the change strip in the white with a maroon trim Wimbledon, who will join Surbiton in tomorrow's EHL Premier Division Finals.
Carl Stagno, coach for Wimbledon men's, going into the game today against Old Georgians. It's a repeat of the national indoor final in January. You've had 2 league defeats against OGs. How are you going to turn it around? How can we turn it around?
Well, look, for us it's not a question about turning around. We take every game as it comes, one game at a time. Look, the games will be, at this level, it could be very tight, or one team can run away with it. For us, it's about doing things the way we do things and play the way we play. That's not going to change. That's our DNA. We will continue doing that. I think they're the favourites. They're the ones who are here to win it, if I'm honest. So it's up to them to beat us. We will just do what we have to do. Yeah.
Where do you think the game will be won and lost today?
I would say predominantly in transition moments, moments that are not prescripted by either coach, moments that we as coaches can't control, ball turnovers, moments and brilliance. I think that's going to be the difference between the team that wins and the teams that come second best today. Right.
Well, thanks, Zach. Good luck today.
Thank you.
And good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep, so this is the first team through the stage 1 of the season. Of course, then the first team in the top 6 as well. Old Georgians, then they finished top as well of Pool A in the finals pool. against Wimbledon, who finished 4th in stage 1, 3rd then improving slightly in the top 6 as they went up to 36 points, 3 points off Surbiton, but 9 points behind Old Georgians. Then they went to Pool B. Surbiton won that pool. Wimbledon came 2nd with 2 wins and 1 losing draw, scoring 9, 4 and 4 against. Alongside me for this one, Holcomb's Phil Roper. Phil, minor injury for you at the moment, I believe, so sidelined obviously. Holcomb not making it here as well today. What are your expectations of this one, and how are you feeling generally at the moment, and how's all your hockey been going?
Yeah, well, first of all, great to be here, Dan. Secondly, like, expectations for this one, I think it's going to be a pretty tight encounter. Even though Old Georgians are the defending champions, they've got a lot about them, a lot of experience. But I expect Wimbledon have a very deep squad, and I expect it to be. There's so much quality out there on the pitch. I'm hoping they don't cancel each other out. I hope we have an exciting attacking game, because that's what everyone's come here to see. But yeah, really excited for it. Other than that, I'm loving rehab life, and yeah, looking forward to the next few months. We're training pretty hard. It's such an exciting time when you get so close to Olympic Games. You know, you can join the cycle in 3 years to go. Seems like a long way, and now we're finally at the end where everyone's getting that excitement, that buzz. The Pro League's coming up. It's great prep for Paris, and we've got such a strong squad that and a great place to be a part of. Even though I'm in rehab, we've got great guys and enjoying it every day.
The one trait I keep seeing in conversations with, and I'm talking here specifically on the men's side of the Great Britain setup at the moment, is a sort of buzz and a positivity. Anytime you mention how's it going, how's training, despite a number of injuries, and there are a number of injuries around, I think there's a number of injuries in every single camp if you went all over the world coming into Paris at the moment. But you just, look on your face there. It wasn't a down in the mouth, well, I'm injured and I'm out and, it's all going to be tough. It was, well, I'm out. However, there seems to be a belief around the team because it's a whole team unit. It's not just about the individual.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes when you can spend so much time together. Especially, I keep talking
still
about,
like each other.
Yeah, firstly that we were away for something like 6 of 8 weeks over the winter period, and even at the end, in the past you've definitely had moments where you're like, oh, get me home.
Yeah.
But we've just got this kind of like collective feeling. We've got we're trying to have fun at the same time as taking it very seriously, and we've got a coach who runs us very, very hard, but also really pushed us to have a good time and enjoy doing it, because otherwise it's just a slog then. So yeah, it's great. We've got 30 plus amazing players. I've never been part of a GB team that has the strength and depth that we've got, which also just makes it even better. We're all fighting to push each other to make selections to win medals, and it's definitely the strongest team I've been part of.
Of course, here we're going to see last year's champions and this year's indoor champions as well. Old Georgians, 3rd in Europe, as Dan Shingles walks out for them in the captain's armband. Umpires for this one, Sean Edwards and Paul Walker. Jack Waller, one of your Great Britain teammates, of course, in the captain's armband for Wimbledon. As the two teams line up to welcome each other. Well, the head-to-head between these two teams this season very much favours the reigning league champions. Old Georgians 9, Wimbledon 2 on aggregate across the season. And that was 22nd of October at 2-0. Chris Proctor, who's been in fine goal-scoring form, as has James Carson. Both of those two on the score sheet that day. Those two enjoying themselves at the Wagner as they helped Old Georgians to an EHL bronze medal. Of course, Carson scored a hat-trick, I believe, out there. And then 9th of March, 7-2. Alexa Brown with a couple. Messam, Forsyth, he knows where the goal is. Carson with a couple, and James Carson with a couple, and Ed Carson on the score sheet too. So Wimbledon have to turn the form around here. How do they do that, Phil, against such a dominant team? Where are the opportunities for Wimbledon today?
I think like I alluded to, I think they have to go for it here. Maybe that sounds incredibly obvious, but you can't sit back against an Old Georgians team who has so much strength and depth, so much experience. You have to go out and hit them in the old school phase of punch them in the face, and I think that is something that we really need to see.
Not literally. I hope not literally.
I hope
we're
not.
going to have no red cards in this one.
Figuratively, go.
Old Georgians have seen a red card recently, not for them, but there's been a red card, you know, EHL. Not Vice Cole.
Yeah, it's a case of, I would say, stay calm, really throw a lot of intensity at them, press. Hopefully, we'll see a high pressing game and really get them on the back foot.
It's going to be a cracker of a game. Old Georgians, across they go. Sam Heehart, across to get a few touches on the ball. Of course, Wimbledon have the likes of Jack Turner, who's just going around pumping everyone up before the game. He's currently in the England and Great Britain setup. Dave Condon as well, who's worn the captain's armband at Lee Valley a couple of summers ago for England. If I remember rightly, it wasn't for Great Britain, was it? It was for England when they were sharing around the captaincy. So it's Wimbledon in the white against Old Georgians in the maroon and blue. Ready to go, and Alan Forsyth just wanders his way over the halfway line before the whistle goes. Welcome to the action. A vast aerial, which is going to go nearly over the head of Ben Fox in the number 17 shirt. My name's Dan Strange, alongside me Phil Roper for this one. And Dan Shingles immediately gets an early touch, of course.
Yeah, I think, and they've already got Lee Morton on the ball, who is 100% one of their danger men, who they're going to look to a lot, I think. It's a great trap.
Chasing almost a lost cause there, Lee Morton. Loves this left-hand sideline, so inventive from here. And we see that just there, Lee Morton, straight into the 3D skill and then trying to bounce the ball in on the cross.
Yeah, you talked about how Wimbledon will win this game, and I think that's one of the key battles there is, can you keep Lee Morton quiet for as much of the game as possible? He's too good to keep quiet the whole game, but if you can limit his touches, limit his impact, I think that's going to be key.
I think it was against India last summer, wasn't it? Lee Valley, he scored that goal down the left-hand sideline where he did similar to what you saw there. He just did it for a lot further and then tucked the ball home as well. It was absolutely, he's a scorer of very high quality goals.
Yeah, he's done amazing things since joining the program.
Francis trying to find a way himself down the left-hand side. Back it comes to Waller, whose cousin works for Charlton Football Club in their community development programme. That's not on my commentary barg sheet for Jack Waller. I actually met him, Phil, about 4 or 5 months ago in Canterbury. Just by chance, having a conversation, he asked me what I did for a living. I said, and he said, oh, my cousin is Jack Waller and, of course, plays for Great Britain, England and Wimbledon. Slightly bizarre moment in time. Heehart trying to win the ball back, which he'd just lost. Patterson, good power from him. Bad tackle from Heehart. Gets a telling off and a waggle of the finger.
Thought it was a good tackle. It's a nice little steal straight onto Patterson's foot, but we're not going to see them all.
Patterson finds Fox right in front of us. Kiwi international Heehart in the way. Carson went across to tackle. Tom Carson in the number 8 shirt. Shingles wins the free hit, wants to get going quickly, thought about going aerially. Instead, he finds Morton, who just scurries forward. Bouncing ball into the circle, dangerous ball into the circle. Forsyth turns penalty corner. Brilliantly done by Old Georgians, coming from Lee Morton. But the presence of mind of Forsyth too. He
is one of, I think people don't see him as an out-and-out goal scorer, but the amount of penalty corners Forsyth can win, and that I've seen him win over how many years for club and country, is actually incredibly underrated. He always knows how to find a foot. He's incredibly aware of his surroundings in the D, and he just proved it then. He couldn't get a quality shot off, so get it into his body and onto the foot.
And Forsyth setting up the opportunity for Old Georgians. Matt Brown lines up in the 22 shirt. Tom Carson on the right wearing 8. And it will be Brown. Low, good save from the goalkeeper, Ogunlana. And it goes Wimbledon's way. Hart disagreeing. But Paul Walker unfazed and not for changing his mind.
Really nice double save there from the goalkeeper.
So, of course, James Mazzarello played very well in the previous match. Made some very good saves for Surbiton. And
he has been on fire. Every time I speak to someone about Maz, it's just he saved the ball again.
He's also the nicest bloke in the world. He's intelligent, he's a very good goalkeeper, and he's the nicest bloke in the world. I mean, he just doesn't seem to have a fault. You know, well, he must have a fault somewhere, Phil. Come on, what is it?
I'm desperately trying to make him a worse person. I think that's been my key goal, is because he is actually too nice. So,
turn down Oxbridge.
Yeah.
Turn down Oxbridge. I mean, yeah, who does that?
He's one of them people that you meet. You're like, why have you got everything going for you?
Yeah.
But yeah, we tend to like to get stuck into him at training. It's a nice battle when you're trying to score as many goals past him as possible, and any time you do, definitely get stuck into him. I've been trying to make him nibble, and he actually he's been firing back a few times.
He's relatively quiet as goalkeepers go as well.
Yeah, he's not cut from the same cloth as a pinner. I don't think. No.
As the ball goes across from Patterson into Jack Turner. Decent possession for Wimbledon as they work their way through Gilmore. Chase on quickly from Liam Sanford. His parents are here watching today, Mark and Mandy. Was keen to follow their son home and away as much as they can.
He's one of the few people you want to, in this OG's team, who you want to avoid at all costs when you're attacking as Wimbledon. He's such a good defender, so good at getting involved and breaking up play at the same time as then he's got speed and can create stuff out of nothing in the attack.
Ball boy needs to be watching there, sorry, because he was daydreaming as the ball was aerial towards him, and it was only a touch off Chris Proctor, which actually stopped that, potentially hitting the ball patrol. I think he realised he may need to keep his eyes on the game from now on. Wimbledon have the chance down the left-hand side. Duncan Scott in the circle wearing 7, doesn't find its way to him. Liam Sanford just
complaining.
Bit of a nibble at the umpire. He's always worn his heart on his sleeve, has Liam?
Yeah, he's quite miserable quite a lot of the time. He's one of them people that enjoys being miserable, though. So it's endearing. It's
just his default.
Yeah.
See, I remember him as a very good forward as a teenager.
Really?
He started out at Wickham with Liam Ansell, a fairly average forward that you're in close proximity to, Phil, who definitely didn't teach those two anything. Ansell and Sanford started out as a very creative forward couple pairing.
I mean, I wouldn't have said that, but then actually I watched...
well, not with that pass you wouldn't. He's just passed the ball off the end of the pitch, but that's a rare error from Liam.
He scored an amazing goal last week against Holcombe, actually. He put it over Payno's shoulder from a narrow angle, and I've never, ever seen him do that before. And he's assured me that he's got that in the locker, and I said, complete fluke.
He scored his first goal for England, I think it was, actually at the Klinger Stadium from a penalty corner, which was a goal similar to the one that Stuart Rushmere scored in the previous game, the deflection on the right post.
We also had an ongoing bet at training to see who would score their first international goal. Would it be Sanford or would it be Creed?
Sanford won it, didn't he?
He did win it.
He did, and he then went 2 games over his GB total for England, I think. Or I think that was the one that Mark Sanford pulled out detail-wise for me as Turner plays the ball forward and on it goes to Condon. Could be a very important player for Wimbledon today, David Condon, as Mackenzie gets dispossessed.
There's a really nice pass across the grain there, you know, getting away from the spare fullback, trying to open up. If that ball gets trapped, it's an instant shot from the top of the D.
Sloan finds Turner. Turner, good ball pace onto the left-hand side. Into the top of the circle. Not the best of touches from David Condon, always a very, very busy player. Very vocal. Hails from Leicester. Sloane just restarts. Wimbledon easing their way into the game at the moment, and they'll be happy, Phil, to have got halfway through the first quarter and it still be goalless. Yes, in part thanks to Uganlana's double save, as you mentioned. Waller, well, that wasn't the intended direction that he wanted for the ball. Well, it was direction, it just was at head height, not along the ground.
It was a really nice carry, and then I saw the pass he was trying to make, but just couldn't quite execute. I think OG's decided to sit back a little bit there, give Wimbledon a little bit of possession, but also maybe try and open up some space to hit them on the counter attack. OG's press has been pretty impressive over the last couple of years. They're always trying to funnel you into the middle of the pitch and create them really dangerous turnovers. But yeah, also have to be very careful of Waller. He is their man, their go-to guy. If they're in trouble, they're going to go to him.
Condon moves it on to Connor Greentree. A couple of New Zealand internationals on the pitch today. Greentree, who scored his only international goal against Great Britain in a game I think you were playing in, Phil, last year in the Pro League. It was on that tour where Zach Wallace scored that goal, which came from a Liam Sanford misdirected aerial, of course. And then Zach Wallace did the rest, and wow, was it special.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't actually in New Zealand for that
one. Yeah, it was around the time of birth of your second child?
Yeah, my boy being born, yeah. But yeah, I do wish I witnessed that Zach Wallace goal live. I think that would have been pretty special. Although I'm sure he's going to do it again at some point.
Well, he's scored a few in the Hofklasse, hasn't he, for Bloemendaal this year of pretty special quality. Uganlana, comes out again and clears really well. He's impressing so far between the sticks for Wimbledon. OG's in possession, high up the pitch. An expectant crowd enjoying the late sun. Here goes Condon. Good pace from him. We're having to put the afterburners on to keep in touch with him. Carson stepped in, and can't believe we haven't mentioned the name Ashley Jackson yet, but there he is in possession of the ball briefly. Lovely step inside from Lankford. Well, over 100 international caps for England and Great Britain now. Quickly moved on by Eddie Way. Way, a player who dropped out of the Great Britain programme, did he not, Phil, with injury a while ago?
Yeah, he was, I think he had a really hard time, I think, for a couple of years where he's just battling through a few injuries. He's definitely got the ability, to have represented England GB, but you always have these players who are so unlucky and can't quite catch a break. Eddie's got a great skill set to him, and yeah, he's still very influential for Wimbledon.
Francis winning the long corner.
Got a huge aerial. He's got a really dangerous aerial.
Waller one way and the other, and then playing the ball into James Carson. Not sure what the issue is. Okay, saying bring it forward. Wait. That's a fabulous pick. Fabulous pick. And now the aerial forward. And Carson, Tom Carson, was on his bike and nearly got smashed in the back of the head by his brother. Bit of brotherly love there.
Not sure that's quite the tactics of just head down and run and hope it doesn't hit you on the head.
Get in the back of the head. James Carson again, Welsh international, just gets hooked by Eddie Way, not maliciously. Forward come OGs down the right-hand side, changing the angle of attack. Proctor's waiting in the circle for the pass of Carson, who ricochets it Off the boot of the Wimbledon player. OG's just steady into this game at the moment. It hasn't been quite the dominant performance we maybe expected as Jackson throws the aerial. And it goes the way of Wimbledon as in stepped Sam Hooper. The players around him, Carson one of them.
I think it's interesting because whenever we've played Old Georgians over the last couple of years, and actually a lot of reports from when we come into training on a Monday is you know, did they deserve to win the game? But they've got an ability to always find a way. So it'll be interesting to see if, you know, Wimbledon can hang in there. It'll just be, I think, a big. They'll need a really big fourth quarter, I expect, to get over the line against OGs.
The pace of Sanford, such a long stride as he just broken. That's where they're very, very good indeed. Off to the right-hand side from Tabang Modisi, South African international. Handful of caps for them. Weir waits on the left-hand side. Jackson decides to ignore him and go back to Shingles. Into the circle. Now the play. Oh, Ian Sloan. Off over the end line for a long corner, which Andy Halliday says was absolutely correct.
I think it's a corner.
I thought there were hints of it, no?
I thought it was fine.
Okay. We're
The crowd wanted it, didn't they?
yeah. Lovely quick hands from Ed Carson. He hut back to Weir. Good from OGs. Now they turn on the style. Shingles short aerial to the right hand side. Pace injection at the baseline. Pulling it back in the roof. And there is Ed Carson. You'd have banked on a Carson to score for OGs today. And Ed Carson into the roof of the net. Past Ori Uganlana, and OGs turning on the style and getting the opening goal.
It's a really nicely worked goal, getting stuck in the corner along that left baseline and working it out, finding the overload on the right-hand side. Great carry from Pavis along the baseline, and just waits and waits and waits until Ed Carson came available, and just, it's a lovely, lovely move.
And literally, the hooter goes mid-celebration. And so it's 1-0 at the end of the first quarter. And Carson, who has been
I think that's
influential player for them, scoring a really good goal to take the lead in a quarter where I think Wimbledon would have been happy until the last second.
I think that's what I was trying to allude to, was the fact that it was very even, and then you just they find a time, they find an opening, and they've got multiple people who can score a goal, who can pop up with something special, create something. And I think it's something that has to be feared across, well, we saw the whole of Europe as well. When you've got a deep team who are missing, you know, Albury and Ward, and suddenly, you know, they still find the guys, have the quality to bring it up.
And I don't think George Pinner's touched the ball either so far. And the point you're making is a very, very good one, that the bronze, was it a surprise that they won a bronze at EHL level? Not on the quality of the team, but when you look at the depth in that competition, potentially it was a surprise. And what I'm meaning there is, you know, I don't think they'd have gone into the competition going, well, we really think we're going to win a medal at this level quite now. No. But it took a really good performance. But what they have in that team is the players that can do exactly that. Of course, as you said, missing James Albury, missing Sam Ward, both recovering from injury.
Yeah, and if you were on a betting website or you were a betting man, you wouldn't say they wouldn't have had good odds to win a bronze medal. But I think the people, knowing, you know, the journey they've been on for the last few years, it was almost, and it was still an incredible performance to beat Rotweiss in that third fourth.
Yep. I'm not a gambling man either, Phil. I gave up after the Grand National earlier. I need to pay for the petrol home now. Ball across from Turner. Finds way. Eddie Way, yes Eddie is the call, and possession given away to Proctor, who breaks well through midfield, finds Carson into Forsyth. It just pops up off his stick, difficult to take, and a long corner.
Again, the OG's forcing them into the numbers and creating that dangerous turnover where they can break through the middle of the pitch. Wimbledon probably can't get suckered into that too many more times.
Sanford slider. Oh, that was very, very close to an on-rushing Carson. Didn't quite get the touch that Tom Carson was looking for. Lovely ball from Sanford, though. That's how dangerous his distribution can be. Morton almost wears that on the kneecap. Play on is the call, and Lee Morton got the ball back quickly. Ball out to the right-hand side. Forsyth, clever. Hits the Wimbledon foot first, and then Forsyth plays football after. But he gets the penalty corner.
Yeah, the connection there. Lee's got his head up. He's looking for that lead. Aldo's led right off the back and around to the far. What we're seeing so much more in hockey now, this crossfield aerial into the D, is so hard to deal with, so hard to umpire. If they trap it, they're going to more than likely get something at goal. Really, really nice connection.
It's that doubt it casts in the defence's mind, doesn't it? Because you can't encroach. Well, you can risk encroaching and give away a penalty corner immediately. Or you leave the likes of Alan Forsyth with a potential free shot on goal with a bouncing ball, which do you really want to face that either? Well, Brown stands at the top of the circle again. Hacked away by Waller under the mask. Forsyth, players diving in front. Carson was there, Ed Carson. And away it goes in Wimbledon's favour. OG's looking dangerous, but Wimbledon at the moment clinging on at 1-0 down.
Also going back to it, that the area rule is just impossible to umpire. So sometimes it's worth throwing it more often than not, because I've got into the habit now of just throwing up a 50p piece and just hoping for the best result on the pitch, because you just don't know which way it's going to get blown.
I think the interesting point out of that conversation is your recognition that it isn't that the umpires umpire it badly, it's just a difficult rule to get right, if that makes sense. And I heard a rumour that the Phil Roper umpire relations have improved in the last year or so after a flight that you spent having a conversation with Sean Rappaport. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know if that did well for my umpire
no,
relations.
according to Sean, he did glowing reports about Phil Roper.
Well,
mainly about childcare, though. Apparently you sat there speaking about your families for 8 hours back from India or wherever it was.
Yeah, it was it was a nice conversation. I'm glad
he's a lovely guy, Sean.
Yeah, it might have done something for my umpire relations. That's going to be tricky to repair, I think, but we'll do our best.
Gives you that extra foul. You know, one more foul in a game is always useful, isn't it? As the ball's picked up and driven on by Ben Francis. And then Carson, goal scorer, steps across.
Rupert Shipley has assured me that Ben Francis has the nickname the Welsh Pele. So, I'm not sure I'm taking his word for that, but, you know, no offence to Franco, but...
Lovely spin from Mackenzie. Still trying to find a way into the circle. Gets the free hit just outside. Waller. Eddie Way all the way across to Patterson. Not the cleanest of challenges from Matt Brown. Penalty corner wanted from Wimbledon. Long corner received. Turner. Some disagreement behind us from Wimbledon fans. I think they're Wimbledon fans, Phil.
Yeah, getting a hard time. Some
getting heckled.
Some old Wimbledon friends telling me that I should be saying that was a corner. I don't think it was, but...
Greentree gets himself out the way. Sanford doesn't hit it utterly cleanly, and Waller can step in on the bouncing ball. Gorgeous evening sun. Just casting the long shadows across the pitch here at Sugden Road. Not sure the ticket situation yet for tomorrow. Check that out, but if you can get a ticket for tomorrow, make sure you head down. Surbiton have 2 teams in the finals, and we're just waiting to see whether Wimbledon or OGs will make it as the second of 2 into the men's final. Ball across to Sloan.
It's a really nice touch. You've got to have someone gambling there really going for that back post, because you never know where that ball's going to fall. And like we say, where George hasn't touched the ball yet, you'd really like to see them get something going at goal, maybe threaten a few balls into the D and see what they can come up with.
Magisi, poor touch from him. Waller up to the 23. Tries to retain possession from Sam Hihar. Hihar 42 caps and 4 goals at international level. Henry Weir restarts into Shingles. Under a lot of pressure there. Dan Shingles kept possession just about from Ben Francis. Good collection from James Carson. Bouncing ball. Hihar was there, as was Ian Sloan. Himself became a father last year, didn't he? Missed some international action when his young son was born.
Almost 1 now, yeah. Still a fantastic player and has a huge impact on this team. Someone they need to get firing the ball, giving the ball into. He's playing a spare man at the moment. He's doing a really nice job all year. He's on the strokes at the moment as well. He's assured me he scored something like 7 out of 8 strokes this year. So, you know.
Always bottom corner, or?
Always bottom corner.
Yeah.
I don't want you.
Ball across, and Tom Carson and Rory Patterson battling for the ball. All right, Ogunlana watchful as it just clipped the sideboard on its way out.
Great ball from Sloan there.
Nicely collected by Reece Bradshaw.
They're also, OG's doing a really good job on keeping Jack Waller quiet. Anytime he's got the ball, they've really tried to force him backwards. And he needs to get into the game, start really breaking a line, because he is their danger guy.
You said about Pinner having a quiet game because of OG's press, but also because of Wimbledon failing to get any shots on target at the moment. But the way he's talking to this defence all the time can't be understated. He's constantly organising, constantly talking to his team.
He's a very good communicator. He's got the ability to look everywhere around him on the pitch and really help everyone out. Give extra information. Any information is valued as a midfielder, defender, even a forward. I don't know if George can get that far up, but I'm sure with his voice he can.
But the point you're making there with Jack Waller, there's a case in point there. He got the ball, but he was having to force the issue because OG's immediately had players up in his face, making life difficult for him. It was Chris Griffiths on that occasion.
I think they do the research every time. Again, another great turnover.
Morton. Sanford, really attacking game from him today. It's got the likes of Hihar at the back post. Offloads to Sanford, left-hand side. Sanford on the reverse. Across it goes. And it's back stick given. And Wimbledon retain the ball. Retrieve the ball, I should say, from behind the goal in Sloan.
Ooh.
Morton through Waller, who gets a little bit of a let-off there, the Wimbledon captain.
Yeah, that could have been a really dangerous moment, but he managed to make up for that mistrap with a tackle on Morton.
Jack Turner. Back to Sloan. I was talking to Jack about Wimbledon's indoor exploits in Europe the other week. And he was absolutely buzzing off the back of that experience. Thoroughly enjoyed the trip, he said. It was absolutely brilliant. And said the team just got so much from it. Well, here they're looking to displace OGs out of yet another final. Griffiths and OGs find themselves 1-0 to the good. Forsyth back and flashing across goal. Griffiths finds himself on the turf and can't put the ball on target.
It's a perfect pass from Forsyth there, like really nicely played into his path so he could run onto that. I'd really love to see him get that on target. I think that anything on target there has got to be a goal.
Ashley Jackson. Forsyth, look at the lead. The awareness. And then Carson dives down. Tom Carson this time. And it's 2-0. And it all came from the ball from Jackson. The lead of Forsyth, which was sensational. And then the unselfishness to find Carson for 2-0.
The understanding there that as soon as they have midfielders defenders and breaking through the middle of the pitch, to lead the forwards are leading off the back of their Wimbledon defenders and causing issues constantly. Carson there has led so hard. As soon as he saw the balls going ahead of him, he is on his bike winning that race, and it's an amazing. It looked like a one-handed finish to me.
Yeah. Again, Alan Forsyth, as you said earlier. Some don't see Alan Forsyth as all about the goals. I think you say, that was always the way I deemed it. But here today, he's doing a lot for the team. That wasn't the cleanest tackle in living history. I think he may be lucky to get away with without a card here. If he isn't, there'll be a few forwards questioning why they were given cards in their careers in the game, because that was a bit of an axe from Forsyth, who now grins from ear to ear.
I think we proved that we were being too nice to him. It's not what he's known for. That
well, he's not known for his tackling. Let's
definitely not.
Yeah, gives forwards a bad name.
Well, that's a really nice win from Carson. He's very hard done by there. Andy Halliday's just passed me a note saying that Tom Carson moves like Spider-Man.
Penalty corner given, and it was exactly the point we were talking about earlier, that crossfield aerial making life difficult. OGs didn't back off. Ashley Jackson asked the question of Spud Edwards as to why it was given. Well, the player under the ball was the Welsh Pele, Ben Francis. I mean, I'm still not seeing it myself, but fair enough.
No, well, yeah, it's just Rupert Shipley. Let's just point it. Also, again, like, he puts it into an area. There's complaints all round, and Sean Edwards is forced into making a decision, and it gives Wimbledon their first big chance. Is it Sam Hooper has scored a lot of corners this year for Wimbledon?
And the number 15 shirt right there, Hooper twiddling the stick. Patterson in the number 10 shirt alongside him.
I think Sam Hooper will be looking forward to hopefully getting a few corners and battling out against George for whether he can bag a few goals here.
Liam Sanford is sent back to halfway for taking too long. In fact, he's been given a green card. Hooper. Oh, it's in. It's hit the player. The OG's player outside the line.
I'm confused now. Has that been given a goal, or is...
No, it's not. It's been given as a free hit. It hit Forsyth outside the line and not in. So it must be given as dangerous, surely. Annoyingly, we can't see a replay. You may see a replay on screen, just to confirm. We have the ability to show replays. It's just we don't have the ability to see them. So if you're seeing a replay, tweet me what happened.
This is a really good opportunity for Wimbledon now, with Sanford off the pitch, them down to 10 men for a couple of minutes, to put the pressure on and really see if they can get their tails up.
Very much so. Ed Carson, opening scorer for OG. Tom Carson scored the second. Forsyth threatens Wallet, who's going to throw an aerial. The lead of Carson. Forsyth goes to ground, penalty stroke. Very well won by Forsyth. Great work, great leading this time from Carson out to the left-hand side. Tom Carson it was. And Forsyth stepped inside and won the stroke.
Yeah, amazing work from Carson. I'm a little bit dubious as to whether that was a stroke or not. It seems like Aldo took a touch into a player and maybe had a little bit of a swing and a miss. Maybe I'm being harsh to him, but if I was Wimbledon, I would feel a little bit hard done by there. But again, they've got an opportunity now. Forsyth is a well-known, very successful stroke taker, so I can only see this going one way.
Does he roll it in the bottom corner like Sloane? We wait to see. He doesn't get it in at all because Ole Ogunlana dives down. It was quite central, but he had to get very low indeed. Almost could have gone underneath him.
Yeah, I'm
good save.
Proud to get commentators cursed there for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Say he's a successful stroke taker. Missed it straight away.
Not anymore. Done that before, trust me.
Sorry, Alan.
Sloan. I did it to Tess Howard. New Zealand, the same tour that we were talking about earlier when Zach Wallace scored the goal. And
nice.
away comes Morton in possession. And she was on a hat-trick, Phil. And basically, they changed goalkeeper from Roberts to Brooke Roberts to O'Hanlon. She'd scored against Roberts, who's a little bit shorter, went the same top corner, didn't put it quite so high, and Grace O'Hanlon saved it, and poor Tess didn't score a hat-trick. And she's on commentary with me tomorrow. I'll probably hear about it. If she's not listening, she'll probably mention it.
Just 30 seconds ago, Sloane's played an amazing crossfield aerial to Fox, and I really want to see him attack the middle of the goal there. He gave Morton a chance to take the ball, and Morton's going to take that every day of the week. But when you're in Wimbledon, you're struggling to get a shot off, you really, really need to take them moments.
Carson will send it anyway. Finds Forsyth, who has a chance for retribution here. He's got Sanford with him, who dives in. We spoke about Liam Sanford's goal scoring, and that was a lovely goal. And again, it comes from the unselfish play of Alan Forsyth. And Liam Sanford, I told you, he was a forward in his day, Phil Roper. Didn't believe me. Liam Sanford dives down and makes it OG's 3, Wimbledon 0.
You can see it's amazing play from Alan, but also the tactics clearly from OG's is to play direct as soon as possible. They have forwards every single time are hungry to lead hard up the pitch, and at the moment that's really paying off. Sanford's just come on from a green card, and
which I think helped him because he got the break. That was why he was able to get up. But he then gets back at the other end and picks one way up above his head. It shows the versatility and the quality of Liam Sanford. But I think the call on, when he was called on, it actually helped him because he was able to get up with the attack.
And again, forcing, last man Ian Sloan there into a really hard trap with 2 oncoming OG's players. Yeah, I think Wimbledon could do with taking them leaves out of OG's books and really, really trying to get something at the D, leading behind, force the issue a bit more.
15 seconds left before the two teams get a breather. Sanford just delays and then throws an aerial, which is brilliantly caught, to be fair, on the sidelines. Waller trying to find a way around Shingles. And there is the end of the first half. And it's a half where the champions are reigning supreme in this one. OGs may have had a slightly steady start, but then Ed and Tom Carson scoring to make it 2-0. Alan Forsyth suffered from Phil Roper's commentator's curse as he missed a stroke, but then Forsyth had already set up Tom Carson, set up Liam Sanford, and Sanford made it 3-0. And as we come back for the second half, the wind has picked up, and this is more the England we know in April. Blustery, jackets on, jumpers adorned on the sidelines. The players look happy enough still. Josh Pavis just down in front of us, playing well so far, waiting for the restart. Phil, OGs have done a job so far. Wimbledon, really, well, you said at the start of the game their only way of winning this is by throwing caution to the wind, essentially. Now they've really got to go for it and really got to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, they've got to come out with the kitchen sink, haven't they? And try and I'd say steal a goal in this first 10-15 minutes, and then suddenly there's a shred of doubt with the OGs team, and then maybe you can build on that momentum. But yeah, it's a tough ask at the moment. But with hockey, the exciting thing is you can score. You can score 3 goals in a couple of minutes. So stay positive that we're still going to have a thriller here.
And of course, a shootout if it's tied at the end, and we've all seen in hockey and events like the FH Pro League where shootouts at the end of every game if required. As Phil just said, late goals very much become a thing. We're going to get an update for you in a moment about the ticketing for tomorrow, because trust me, it's been a fabulous day in the sunshine here in southwest London, and if you are interested in coming down, we're just going to check on what the ticket scenario is. The great news is if you can't get a ticket for tomorrow, you can get all the action on England Hockey TV. Henry Weir clatters the ball away. Jack Turner, lovely ball across, and the touch was there, and the celebration comes from that man that we spoke about in the first half, Ben Francis. A deft touch, a delightful cross from Jack Turner. We said goals can come at any time, Phil. 3-1 already.
I think that's exactly what the neutral wanted, and it's a nicely worked goal. It's something I think we were both calling for in the first half. This bit of intensity, break a line. Jack Turner's played a really strong ball down the left foot of the spare man, and it's an amazing touch by, as Shipley would call it, the Welsh Pele.
And bad news for George Pinner, as he still hasn't really touched the ball. Nothing he could do about it. It was the ball from Turner was an absolute beauty. Absolutely zero that Pinner could do, because he was just left completely planted as the deflection found its way into the goal. High quality goalkeeper, but even sometimes the very best are beaten by very good quality finishes.
And again, Tom Carson's movement has just been fantastic. He's been getting on the ball so much in this game so far, making them leads, and they're finding him.
And Forsyth is jinking and darting back and forth, trying to offer himself. Patterson, I was going to say sticking to him like glue, but not quite. Ogunlana with a save, great second save. Wow, that was phenomenal. Where did he pull that from, Ogunlana? That was point blank range and a half.
Another amazing double save. I mean, Forsyth has connected with that on the half volley. It's unbelievable save. That's what Wimbledon need. I think they need them strokes of genius, them strokes of amazing skill, and now they need to really build on this goal.
Wimbledon 1, OGs 3. It was 3-0 at half time. Ben Francis with Wimbledon's first goal in this semi-final, giving them a glimmer of hope. Shingles, a very bright armband on, helpful in the evening gloom. Sanford offers width for Morton. Back it goes to Henry Weir, former GB and England player. Down the line, lovely ball from Liam Sanford. Gorgeous run as well from Carson. Player down in the middle of the goal was Patterson. And Tom Carson with the shot, again saved by Ogunlana.
Amazing Route 1 stuff again. Fantastic ball down the line. Carson's ahead of his guy, so he can literally straight away cut him out and have a free run into the D.
Jack Waller. Great pace from him. Poor Chris Griffiths has spent a lot of time on the turf today. Recently left the international setup after a string of injuries, I believe.
Yeah, he had a fantastic career, Griff did. Some of them highlights: scored in the Olympic qualifier event in 2015. He scored a reverse stick. right in off the crossbar. It's one of the highest quality goals I've seen in a long time.
Now with a number of other players, including Jacob Draper, runs a coffee van, and aren't you currently a employee of the?
I'm a co-owner now.
Co-owner now, bought in, got shares.
Yeah, well, if this is a shameless plug. The Social Bean is up and running. Hopefully, coming to a place near you. If you want a good quality flat white, look us up.
Well, the stock price has just soared on the England Hockey TV channel. Griffiths loses out in the middle of midfield. And Wimbledon causing problems at the moment. And Pinner plays the ball off the end line. Long corner given.
It's really nice work, but I'd love to see that ball getting at goal. Great pass.
Waller! Oh, in the back of the net. And Pinner came out to try and close the angle. And Jack Waller absolutely rocketed the ball past him into the left-hand corner. And Phil Roper is a bit of a mystic, Meg, because at half-time he said it just needed a goal and suddenly they can float, and it's 3-2 with just over 5 minutes played in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's something that Jack Waller does so well. He floats in, he waits for the first ball to go, and then he got onto the second ball, and he's hit that really cleanly into the bottom corner. Again, Pinner, no chance.
Proctor in goal-scoring form. Now hints a back stick, and it's given into the top of the net, but the way it looped over the top of Ugunlana. Didn't get that one past an umpire of Sean Edwards' calibre.
And this is the really exciting thing now. We've got a game on our hands. Wimbledon have got their tails up, and OGs are a little bit on the back foot, and the chances are going to start coming thick and fast, hopefully.
Amazing how much more space it looks like Wimbledon have now that they've scored a couple of goals. Sloan, he's had a good game today in Sloan.
It's really nice to get out of pressure there.
Lovely ball forward. And a chance falling to Connor Greentree. Couldn't quite get the ball under control, Greentree. The Albany Hockey Sportsman of the Year for 2023. Over in New Zealand. Oh, the wind, the temperature has really changed. And now Greentree and Jackson had a bit of a tete-a-tete, I think, here. Paul Walker, hands on hips, not impressed. Just a stern telling off and a talking to. Don't do it again, gents. And a smile from Ashley Jackson. I didn't see it either. Andy Halliday, who sat alongside us enjoying the action, is keeping tight-lipped on that one. Not sure if he saw it or not. He's not offering anything to us. As back goes Davy Condon. There's Greentree once more. Sagging deep. Beautiful ball forward. Duncan Scott with an opportunity. Down the baseline. Pulls it back. It loops up dangerously and out of play for a long corner.
That's the crazy thing that a bit of confidence can do. Wimbledon fully got their tails up.
Offload to Way, who just slips at the vital moment. And back, guess who? He's everywhere today. Here's Alan Forsyth. Tom Carson can't quite... Sorry, James Carson, excuse me. Can't quite control. Patterson barrages forward through shingles. Jackson hints a crossing. No, says Paul Walker. Jackson smashes the ball in the air. So the news on the tickets has just come hot off the press. Less than 25 tickets left. Online sales still available until midnight. Or until they're sold out. Potentially, there may be some ticket returns on the gate tomorrow. What a time to say that in a match including Wimbledon. It's likely be queues overnight outside of Sugden Road, people camping in southwest London, 3 months ahead of the Wimbledon Tennis Championships. Will they be seeing Wimbledon Hockey Club in a final tomorrow against Surbiton, or will OGs be there again? Well, forward goes Sam Heehart. Cross it comes, Ogunlana diving. Heehart! Lovely finish. Nothing that time Ori Ogunlana can do. And OGs weather the Wimbledon storm. The fight back is halted briefly at least. Sam Hiha really connecting with that one. It's 4-2, and OGs extend their lead once more.
Yeah, every opportunity they're getting, OGs, they've been smashing that ball at the goal, and again another really nice first save, but second chance comes along, they're gambling on it, and it's a really nice finish near post. This game has really opened up. I'm not sure it's what OGs would have wanted, but I guarantee it's what the fans would have wanted, and it's amazing to see again, hearing that the ticket sales have gone really well. We've got a busy event here. It's fantastic for the English game.
The two banks, commenting on this earlier, really add that nice stadium feel here at Sugden Road. Apparently the bank just behind Ori Ogunlana's goal was put in place for the playoffs a season or two ago, according to Darcy Bourne, and then got closed because of torrential rain for that weekend. But it very much proving a successful addition to this famous club, celebrating 150 years this year.
Yeah, it's a great club. Really good hosts here. Like, fantastic event.
Hints of back stick again from Hiha. Eddie Waite questioning. Long corner given. In fact, it was the touch of the Wimbledon stick that made it look that way. Sanford back to Morton. Reverse stick flick. Medici tries to pick up.
And going back to it, I mean, it's an amazing location because there is so much quality of hockey in the southwest of London that you know, you can hopefully get so much good support in this area. I'm sure there's lots of other clubs calling for the event, but at the moment when hockey's so strong around here, it seems like the obvious choice.
It's, I'd say, the one difficult thing about where Lee Valley is situated. I know it's the legacy venue of London 2012, but being in East London, which isn't really a hotbed of hockey, whereas southwest London, the M4 corridor and areas like that very much are.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and love playing.
Absolutely,
there.
yeah.
Love playing there, and we have had some amazing crowds. But I think yeah, it's not the most accessible, and as you said, it's not somewhere where you would automatically assume is you know, a hockey hub. So yeah, it'd be something I'd love to see in the future is the Pro League get spread out across the country to give more fans the opportunity to experience international hockey. And I think it'd be good for English hockey as well.
Of course, the difficulty with that is expensive infrastructure. England hockey bid for the 2026 World Cup, and the plans for that were very exciting. Of course, ending potentially in a final at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Stoop was involved, and Cardiff Arms Park and Northampton Saints Stadium, I believe, as well. Franklin's Gardens.
There we go.
Lovely ball across. Wimbledon want the foot. It's not given. Ewan Gilmore, it was sliding in. Paul Walker signals the free out. Ashley Jackson in no rush to take it. And that is, of course, the issue. The infrastructure is always expensive. Land is expensive in Surbiton, in London generally.
For sure, I think is there possibility to use existing place? You know, Nottingham Hockey Centre is a good example.
Or do what they did at Harlequins, you know,
exactly.
utilise the stoop and all that sort of stuff. It's something that I believe would be in England hockey's mind. They forward thinking, and as you suggest, trying to reach out to their public, I think, is the point you're trying to make, and make it as easy as they can to.
100%. And as a northerner, you know, there's a lot of people want to see more quality hockey in the north, and it not just be so southern centric. Probably not words, but yeah, I
think you're okay there.
It's something that I think could produce, you know, more interest, you know, grow the fan base. Like you say, also that even when we did it at the Stoop a few years ago, it was an amazing event, one of the best home crowds I've ever played in front of, and something that I'd love to see get done again. Great
Morton,
win.
Lovely tackle. and drives ball through towards Carson. Of course, talking about ticketing, the Pro League, which starts on the 1st of June, only has, I think it's one day, I think it's the 8th of June is sold out, which is when it's GB Australia and India Germany. 4 fabulous matches. There are still tickets available, I believe, across all the other 7 days. So if you want to get to see some excellent international matches at Lee Valley, and as Phil said earlier, it is a magnificent stadium and the players really rise to the occasion playing there. Some stunning matches. Ireland in town, Germany in town, India in town. I'm now racking my brains who else is in town. USA?
Spain, maybe?
I don't think Spain are, but I can't remember where they are. I normally know it off by heart, to be honest. Lovely step over. Great opportunity here. Scott it was. Now Jackson under pressure. And the umpire's whistle helping things. Some rather vocal fans just to the left of us.
Unhappy Wimbledon fans, but they are really knocking on the door. It's great. It's great to see. They're playing some really nice flowing hockey here.
Jack Turner moved the ball on to Langford, who was involved in one of the Wimbledon goals so far. Waller. Aerial ball out to the right-hand side. Cleverly done. Finding Ben Francis. And a long corner given. Wimbledon begging, Wimbledon pleading. And the clock runs out.
Ben Francis really not happy with a couple of decisions that's gone against him in the last couple of minutes. They're absolutely adamant that that was a foot. I can't tell from our angle here whether it was or not, but there's certainly a sense of the world's against us here from Wimbledon. But hopefully they can stay on task and keep creating these chances.
We have 15 more minutes to see if Wimbledon can spring a bit of an upset in the second men's semi-final. Don't forget 9-2 the aggregate score across the season. Although the first game was only 2-0, so that 7-2 drubbing on the 9th of March really adding a bit of a bias towards OGs, who have, to be fair to them, stood up well to how Wimbledon came back at the start of that third quarter. Phil, Ben Francis, a lovely touch off Jack Turner's ball forward, and then Jack Waller scoring. And it's clear how Wimbledon are going to disrupt OGs, because actually at the moment it's probably Wimbledon, I think it's fair to say, playing the better hockey at times.
Yeah, and they're really starting to get into their style of hockey, which is, you know, move the ball, break lines through midfield, and start really trying to get the ball going towards the Old Georgian D. I think that one thing is that they've been working. They need to carry on, keep their heads, make sure that they keep knocking at the door. The exciting thing for me now is that because the Wimbledon are going to be chasing the game, they'll be throwing more and more numbers forward. It opens up and creates an even more open game. So hopefully we'll carry on seeing a couple more counter punches from the OGs. And you know, we've seen how happy they are to smash the ball at goal at any opportunity.
Talking about punching again, Phil. There's already been a comment on Twitter saying how funny it was to hear you talking about people getting punched in the head in hockey. He wasn't being literal.
I'm spending too much time with Sanford.
But to be fair, Wimbledon did just that at the start of the third quarter, and a goal here at the start of the fourth, and the whole game really does change. Oh, now Proctor slides. Waller has to be careful doing that, going to ground. Any connection with the player, 10-minute yellow, and that's exactly what Wimbledon do not need at this moment in time, as Proctor gets the ball to the left-hand side of the circle. Back it comes. Patience from Morton onto Sanford.
Yeah, Wimbledon have also done a really good job at keeping Morton, keeping Forsyth really quiet in that third quarter, which is going to be absolutely key, and actually bringing Waller into the game, making sure that, you know, they're getting Ben Francis on the ball so that he can really start going at them.
Wimbledon lose possession. Danger given, and OGs can restart as they thought about going airily, instead finding Proctor. Lovely turn by Reece Bradshaw. Condon. Relatively quiet today, David Condon, but the sort of player who can be a match winner.
They need to, when he gets on the ball, he really needs to use his speed. He's incredibly quick. Really, anyone would have their work cut out trying to keep up with him. So give him that space. He just got the ball at left half there. I'd love to see him, really run at his defender, because he's got so much speed, and his change direction is amazing.
Nice to see Ben Francis just respond that time, running over to Paul Walker, almost giving him a hug, as realised couldn't argue the case that time. He literally punted the ball off the end of the pitch.
Fantastic pass.
Forsyth again with a very dynamically clever pass onto Griffiths, who cuts back inside onto Proctor. Back to Griffiths. Lovely play from OGs. Good save, Ogunlana. Proctor. Good save.
I think he's made about 7 double saves so far today. He's been absolutely incredible.
The words just to the left of me, Phil, from the children who are inspired watching was, "Oh, you legend." I think that sums it up better than we could. Proctor again. I tell you what, the quality of goalkeeping on show in English hockey at the moment, I think in world hockey actually at the moment, but here today has been fabulous. Forsyth with a bit of a barge. Jack Turner told to take the ball from where the foul had been made. Greentree into the circle, dangerously so. Pinner, oh, up. Was that dangerous? No, it wasn't. Shingles took it down. It was okay. Pinner just slightly back on his heels, as wasn't sure how high the ball was going to come into him.
Really well worked by Greentree there. Had no space to work with and somehow managed to generate a shot, which was really
what
good.
A ball from Griffiths to Forsyth on the volley past Patterson. Forsyth, another lead of the highest quality. Patterson. The pass wasn't there from Forsyth. Morton back to Steele. The game just becoming a little bit scrappy, which could mean some cards come to the fore in the latter 10.5 minutes of this very exciting match. 6 goals so far. Penalty corner for OGs.
They can't. It might be hard to tell from the stream, but there's definitely an up in the intensity.
And there's the card.
Up in the fire, up in the chat that's going on the pitch here. Like there's the competitive spirit of both these teams is being tested now, and this is what makes for really, really fantastic hockey.
Rory Patterson gets the card that I said may be coming. You could just hear it. You can hear both the almost anxiety of the game go up, but also the clashes of the sticks become more prevalent.
And Patterson did absolutely clatter Griffiths.
He did absolutely clatter Griffiths, yeah, just as Griffiths played the ball down the line to Forsyth's lead. I mean, fair play to Chris Griffiths. He didn't really moan and connected beautifully with the ball.
Quite like to see a Tom Carson flick here from the far castle. He's had a really, really good game, been getting on the ball a lot, and he's got a really deceptive, powerful flick that I'd love to see it be utilised here.
Matt Brown scored twice in March against Wimbledon from penalty corners. Every Carson bar Tom scored in that game. It will be Brown. Offload, clever. Part cleared by Duncan Scott.
Oh.
A little bit too intricate, a little bit too clever.
A little bit. I also think you umpire could have played the advantage there. Wimbledon had a nice little breakaway, but he's decided to bring it back.
So Wimbledon down to 10 players. Green card shown to Rory Patterson. Griffiths trying to take advantage of that into the right-hand side of the circle on his own. Crosses, oh, and that was a crucial touch. I think it was Waller coming across.
It's a great steal in midfield from Griffiths there.
Exactly, no touch down the plate to the left-hand side. I thought Waller had just clipped the ball off. Pick up by Tom Carson, looking for support around him. Forsyth leads to the top of the circle. Away comes Sam Hooper. Now they'll find Ben Francis. I'm going to chuckle every time Ben Francis gets the ball in his career ongoing with that comment about the Welsh Pele. He's had a good game, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's had a good game.
Sloan. Errol. Into Ben Francis. That'd have been some goal.
You can see the connections that have got established over this season, because Sloan has been pinpoint to Francis quite a few times. You've got Carson and Forsyth, Tom Carson and Alan Forsyth working really well, and then obviously Ashley Jackson is as soon as he gets on the ball and anywhere close within 50 yards of the Wimbledon goal, you can see the guys leading off the back, and it's just great to see.
Hart down to the left-hand side. The turn from Medici, flashed at goal. Ogunlana again, saving well.
I'm going to love to see these stats at the end of the game.
If he's on the losing team, Ori Ogunlana, he very much won't deserve to be as the ball comes down.
Wimbledon need to get players up the pitch. Take a leaf out of OG's book. They always have someone in the D ready to play a quick pass in there. They need to start thinking about it. There's only 8 minutes to go.
Is Ori Ogunlana's last action for the time being. He gets rid of his helmet, gloves and stick right there behind the goal. Although he's then thrown his neck guard off, which I don't think you need to put that all together, because if he's rushing to get back on, you don't want your kit scattered. I
also don't want to be negative, but the amount of shots OGs have had across this game, I think it might be a little bit soon to take the keeper off. They've had enough pressure. I think they could have waited a few more minutes, but just personal opinion.
Bit of goal now and everything changes. Penalty corner. Penalty corner down the right-hand side. The drive from, I believe it was Mackenzie. And the penalty corner goes Wimbledon's way.
Amazing left to right. Carry hard, force the tackle. It's a big moment.
Made his debut against Canada for Scotland. Was just shy of 50 caps, Mackenzie. Is this the chance that Wimbledon have been waiting for? Sam Hooper, a name you mentioned earlier. Eddie Waite lines up too, but looks far less convincing that he's going to have any drag flicking intentions. And Hooper scores, and he turns to the bank. And he asks for more from the Wimbledon fans. It's 4-3, game on. Do they keep Ogunlana on the sidelines? Yes, they do for the time being.
Oh, it's a big call. I like it. It's ballsy.
Very brave indeed as Pavis leaves Duncan Scott on his backside. 4-3. What a game. What entertaining hockey we've seen all day.
It's a great flick as well. You've seen so many times recently being able to play the ball to Far Castle and fizz the ball hard down the line, beat the number one runner. It's much more difficult for the keeper and the number one runner to have the relationship. And yeah, it's a fantastic flick.
Timed on 53 minutes. Jack Turner. Turner with a jab tackle, and I have a feeling that a teacher of his from Sir William Borlase will be watching on proudly. Kevin Chappell, who's suffered some ill health recently. Very, very proud supporter of the career of Jack Turner, who used to coach in his time at Swilling Borlase in Marlow. If he is, Kevin, get well soon, and I know he'll be looking on, thoroughly enjoying how well Jack's playing, and Wimbledon getting back into this game. Wimbledon continuing as Davy Condon for some reason fell over on the far side. Ben Fox couldn't find a way through. This is made for a Condon equaliser, isn't it? It's that sort of game. A little bit quiet and then suddenly pops up and bounces his way off in celebration.
Wimbledon just need a moment from someone to take that chance. I think we're going to see a couple more chances. It's a long time to go in this game. It's an amazing ball again up the line.
James Carson leading all the way right out to the sideline. One corner given. Across goes Pavis. Samford. Jackson. I still can't get used to watching Ashley Jackson as a defender. Having watched him for the Ranchi Rays in the Hockey India League and all his years of England and Great Britain service.
I think he's proved over the years he could play just about anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not doubting his quality as a defender. I just can't get used to seeing him so far back. I remember watching him in the 2015 Hockey India League final where he basically got beaten up by a couple of Australians playing for JP Punjab Warriors. I can't remember which two it was now. A fairly brutal performance.
Yeah, his passing range is pretty much second to none. You can see that he can put it on the probably a bad example talking about it now after him just passing it off the end of the pitch, but you can see how excited players get when he gets the ball because you know that he'll be able to find them from any distance.
Here is Condon. Good tackle from Dan Shingles. As down the line went Ben Fox, looking for a way through. 3:53 left in the game. Old Georgians, the reigning champions, 4. Wimbledon 3. Comeback from Wimbledon, who were 3-0 down. Goals from Ed and Tom Carson early on. Liam Samford made it 3-0. Then Ben Francis and Jack Waller before Hart made it 4-2. Sam Hooper then drilling a drag flip past George Pinner. And still, Ori Ogunlana waits on the sidelines. He's played phenomenally for Wimbledon today. Still, the Wimbledon net is empty. Well, Georgians, though, since he's been off, haven't managed to have a shot in anger. Samford. The ball just missed by Duncan Scott, and it will drift away for a free out to Wimbledon.
Yeah, Samford got a little bit lucky there. Duncan Scott gambled hard on that passing line and just missed it. Would have been a good counter-attack opportunity.
Waller. Good movement now from Wimbledon. Sloan steps forward. Hooper. Way's been very, very busy all game.
Yeah, I'd like to see them be a little bit more dynamic here, but Turner's done that nicely there.
Turner again. Wins the free hit just outside the circle. Can Wimbledon generate something from here with just over 2 minutes left to go? Morton, how he got out of trouble from where he was, would have been very fortunate to get away with taking the free hit from where he did. Not sure he's convinced by the decision.
No.
But he was also 5 metres on from where it was given.
Yeah, more like 7, I think. But
Proctor, the ball drifts off. We said goals can come right to the last in hockey. Of course, you get a penalty corner and the time runs out. You can technically score after time has dried up. Will we see late goals here? Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, you can tell that the fans, that there's a sense of anticipation that you want one more big chance. You want one more moment that Wimbledon could create something to have that thrilling for all. It's just whether OGs can stay strong and maybe hit them with that open net they've got down the other end.
We've seen one shootout today. It seems like a long time ago that Hampstead Westminster and Mim Pritchard's heroics won their way to a first ever Hampstead Westminster Women's Premier Division
Got to
final.
pass the ball left here. Eddie was free with a fantastic line into goal there. If Jack Turner could have opened his body up a little bit more, it would have been a really nice chance.
54 seconds for Heehart and OGs to cling on. They lose possession. Waller heaps the pressure on into the 23. Out comes Shingles. That was superb, wasn't it?
He is. We used to call him the enforcer, because he is always there to clean up, to make sure that OGs aren't defending that chance in the D. He's making sure that's outside the D.
Sam Hooper has to throw this. Wimbledon running out of time. One last hurrah for them. Heehart gives the ball away. 18 seconds. Paul Walker. Time doesn't stop. His whistle went. It lifts up, and OGs, who Josh Pavis manage to cling on, and they will cling on now because Ashley Jackson has the ball and he will not be rushed into taking this free out. There goes the hooter. Bravery from Wimbledon. But OGs are the team that take their place in a final yet again. They have the chance of going back to back. The indoor champions of 2024 have the chance of doing the double and adding to the bronze medal they won in Amstelveen at the Euro Hockey League Championships. And Phil Roper, what a game.
Yeah, it's been end to end. It's had a bit of everything. I think there's been fantastic goals, so many shots, amazing saves, and I think just about the right team came out on top. But Wimbledon were amazing, showing that the guts, the effort, the to come down from 3-0 at half time and really give an amazing game of it. And I think a couple more minutes and they might have had that extra goal.
So don't forget, tomorrow there's about 25 tickets left. If you miss out on a ticket here at Sugden Road, you can watch it all on England Hockey TV. It will be Hampstead Westminster women against Surbiton in the women's final. This is not in order of games, I'm just telling you what's going on tomorrow. East Grinstead, last year's champions in the women's, they play for bronze against Wimbledon. And then some crucial matches, of course, because in the men's bronze medal match there's a European place still up for grabs. So OGs will play Surbiton, Hampstead Westminster will play Wimbledon. 4 exceptional matches as we look to crown the 2024 EHL Men's and Women's Premier Division champions. Will it be Hampstead and Westminster for the first time, or Surbiton again in the women's? Will it be Old Georgians, or Surbiton in the men's? It will all be on England Hockey TV. You can get here to Sugden Road if you're lucky enough to have a ticket. Phil Roper, thank you so much for being part of the action. The podcasting has paid off. You very much passed the test on the commentary. Well done to Andy Halliday, thank you. Darcy Bourne as well, thank you for her time today. Make sure you're here bright and early tomorrow for the action. It starts an hour earlier tomorrow for the finals day. Everything starts at 10 a.m. here at Sugden Road. But for myself, Dan Strange, and all the commentary team here on England Hockey TV, it's been a fabulous day of action. Congratulations to Hampstead Westminster and Surbiton women who make it to the final, Old Georgians men's and Surbiton men's who make it to the men's final for 2024. Who wins them, we wait to see. But goodbye for now.